Let's welcome everybody here. How you doing, Jackie?
I'm tired, still in bed, but I'm great.
Living the dream.
That 5:30 LA time. I gotta get up though.
Where you based at?
Los Angeles.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, I had a 5:30 this morning. I was like, no, no. Reality knocks at the door.
Oh my God.
Let me put the Zoom link here on the group just in case somebody's not doesn't have the link. Hi, Fabiana.
Hello, Amanda. How are you?
Good, my love. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you so much for an incredible week and insights. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, my love, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you.
This morning I weighed myself, and for the first time, I'm actually dropping the fat now. So it's starting to work.
Yeah. And it takes a little delay. I'm going to talk about this today.
Yeah. And you know what? Something else happened. I was going to ask you about this when you're ready, but I realized I have a 48-hour delay for muscle soreness. Is that normal?
Yeah, that's super normal.
Mhm.
Like I did the weight training Friday and Saturday, and then yesterday was like, I don't feel that sore. I think I could do another weight training. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, I'm not that sore, but then I decided not to, and I
Hmm.
just did normal, just walking on my my little walking pad. So I did not. And this morning I woke up and my muscles are so much more sore than 2 days ago. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like a 2 day delay or
It's a
something. It's
today,
so
yeah. I
weird.
mean, not for everybody. So, delayed on muscle soreness. Look, my cat's going crazy. It goes from 24 to 72 hours, most cases. So
Wow.
some people start feeling it 24 hours. Most people feel it 48, and some people delay up until 72 hours. So
That's
that is
crazy.
normal, yeah.
That's so interesting. I was like, Amanda needs to know about this. I'm gonna ask her.
Nah, I love how you say my name because I mean, that's how I say it in Brazil too. Amanda.
Yeah.
Amanda.
How is the
Oh,
other way?
here they say Amanda
Oh,
in
that's right.
America.
I
And
see.
everybody comes and says, like, what? You have such an American name. I'm like, no, this is not American. This is Latino. It comes
Got
from
it.
Latin, from amor, amar,
Oh, I love it.
love.
Well, I'm from Bolivia, so I speak your language. We're good.
Habla español. Habla
Sí.
español. So let's get started while the other girls hop in, or if not, we'll see. We'll have lots to chat today. Because last week we had so many people. I just wanted to do a walkthrough of people's like week. We can do that too in a second, but I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, we're 2 weeks on the challenge. It's halfway through. I know it seems like such a long time for weeks to diet, but now that we're halfway through, it seems like such a small time to get results. And I was traveling and I was doing all those things, and one of the reasons why I did the challenge was because of me too, because I need to do better. I need to get back on my oldest weight. And yesterday yesterday for the first time, I set up my scale again because I have this smart scale. It's called a Hume, the same one that you do, Fabiana, Hume Health, that it tracks all the things like body fat. Let me just center this a little bit more. Body fat, like muscle mass, hydration, all those things. And I actually just got the bands too that tracks my sleep, my steps, my metabolic. It's also a bunch of fun data for us. And like sometimes I do believe that what matters the most is the mirror, is how you feel when you look in the mirror. For me, that is the most important thing ever. But the numbers on the scale, they help us and they matter, for certain reasons, especially because when you have something like that, you can measure visceral fat, subcutaneous fat, like you can measure your metabolic age, your basal metabolic rate, all those things. So they do matter. And yesterday, I've been avoiding the scale because I look at myself in the mirror and I went and I told you girls when I was in Brazil, I blew up, like I gained so much weight. Even half the clothes I brought wouldn't fit because like I just got so much bigger so fast because I was eating so much sugar and I knew what was gonna happen. So like, I don't need to know. I don't need to step on the scale right now. Let me wait a little bit longer. Came back here home in Miami, waited like probably like 5 to 7 days And yesterday I said, like, you know, it's time. I need to face my fears. So I stepped on the scale, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. Stepped on today again, and I gained weight from yesterday to today. And we're gonna talk about this, Fabiana, like what type of weight we gain or lose first. And the number one thing that I'm even gonna post about it today on social media, because the number one thing that I would do and that I am gonna do now that I want to lose weight, not just for our challenge, but also training for my birthday, my 40th birthday, in like 6 weeks or so, is I'm gonna start weighting myself every day. Like that is the number one thing that I can think of. That is the most effective thing for you to keep your mind engaged and aware in the changes you want to push your body through. Because it's so easy to forget, and it's so easy to focus on the now rather than what matters the most. The reason why a lot of people don't lose weight and then can't keep the weight off is because we value what we have now more than what we have or what we want the most. Is that study that they've done with kids? You've probably heard about it, the Oreo study. You know, they put like little kids, like maybe 3, 4, or 5 years old, in the room, and they leave 2 Oreos on a table, and they say, you can eat that Oreo, like, I'm gonna step out of the room, and if you don't eat that Oreo, I'm gonna give you more. But if you eat it now, that's all you're gonna have. And they noticed that the kids that were able to delay the gratification, they did that study, like they followed the kids for like 20 some years after. They said the kids that were able to delay their gratification instead of just wanting now, like I'm gonna have more later, they were so much more successful in life. And that is a big thing in diet, because we, like, if I see, and that happened to me yesterday, I went back to Naples for the day to visit a friend for her birthday, and I was planning on like enjoying a meal with her, you know, bringing like her little cake for birthday. But they brought this tres leche cake that, oh my gosh, wow. And I said, like, I'm just gonna have a bite. I'm just gonna like a little bit. I ate, like, she ate a little bit, and I ate a lot, a bit. I ate most of it. It was delicious. Now, even it's been making me sick until now. So and that's just another thing for me to tell you girls. I'm just like you, but I've been there many times and I understand how it works. So now I'm like, okay, man, it's time to cut that off. You know, I've been for a month after my show just enjoying living in the moment, which I believe it's important too. You know, our life needs to come in seasons. Here, calm down. But now I know that doesn't serve me long term. Like whenever I take some time off to enjoy and to like do those things that, like, I don't want to track, I don't want to count, like I just want to relax. I think that's important, especially coming after a time that I went was so restrict. But now I understand, like, this really doesn't serve me. I'm not my happiest when I'm just, that's gonna sound contradictory, but I'm not my happiest when I'm living in the moment, because I have bigger goals. I have better things for me. Like, I don't feel good when I'm just eat a beautiful dessert that's there in front of me just because I want to satisfy my palate. Because I was happy for those 5 minutes that dessert lasted, and I was miserable up until this morning, if you know what I'm saying. TMI. But because there was a lot of lactose, a lot of sugar. Like I blew up, like, oh, and I hated it. My scale went up for 2 pounds, not that I ate 2 pounds of cake, but you know, like inflammation, a lot of lactose, a lot of gluten that I usually don't eat. So it's just remembering those things. Really instant gratification in all areas of life, but we're talking about fitness. Sometimes this is important. Sometimes you do need to just say, like, be aware, but say, like, excuse my French, fuck it, I'm gonna eat it, and to get back to your normal self. But the delayed gratification needs to be us, like 80 to 90% of the time. So I'm back on track, and also like understand how not to get in the guilt trip into like, oh my gosh, I'm such a loser. No, that doesn't help us. That doesn't serve us in anything. It's just understanding, okay, I ate, that's fine. I enjoyed it, that's fine. Move on. Now diet is on track, back on track, because I have goals. And I know if I get to my 40th birthday, which is like this epic moment for me, looking like I've been eating cake every day, I'm not going to be happy with myself because it's just not who I am. I'm a cookie monster. I love cookies. You all know that. But I love being fit. I love being like looking like an athlete. I love being healthy. For me, that's the most important thing. It's longevity. It's being healthy. I know when I'm eating and drinking, it's just like it just messes with me. So it's just understanding that. Hey, Lori, understanding the difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification. Um, and the tracking. So I'm gonna start tracking my weight every day now because as much as it hurts, sometimes we want to avoid. And once again, I'm just like you. I avoid the scale because I know the number's gonna hit. It's like, damn it, I don't want to see the number, but I see it, and it's okay. Hope everything's okay, Lori. It's just a regular visit. And because that helps you, keep on track because we tend to like fool ourselves. And I'm just as guilty as charged as any of us and say, like, oh, it's okay. I'm just a little bloated. Oh, it's okay. I'm just a little this. Oh, it's okay. I'm just a little, no, have poor digestion. Hi, Chrissy. Happy birthday. Uh, but we fool ourselves. So tracking, as much as it hurts, sometimes we need to see that and so like, I need to get my shit together. I've been slacking and there's no one day when, or like, for example, my parents are still in town. They're going to be in town for another 2 weeks. Yes. Yeah. I can't wait for like, oh, when they leave, I'm going to get back to diet because there'll be other things. It's season here in Miami. They're going to be start parties popping all over, events and this like, if I don't commit myself to myself right now, there always going to be like something that take me off track. And back to the rule of like 20-80, 20% can be instant gratification. 80% needs to be delayed gratification. What matters now, what matters the most? For me, what matters the most is important. Is the most important thing. It's my health, my longevity, my satisfaction with myself. I'm not proud that I ate that cake yesterday. It was delicious. But it doesn't make me necessarily proud or fulfilled. I'm proud or fulfilled when I look in the mirror like I've been taking good care of myself, and not just physically, mentally, because when you eat what you set yourself to eat, that sense of self-discipline, I don't know, but for me, it's one of the biggest highs I can have. It's just like, ah, like I am being that woman that I admire so much. It's so awesome. So I'm gonna start weighting myself every single day. I hope you girls do too, and learn how to, even if you see a number that you don't like, don't let that destroy you. Let that push you forward. Because what Fabiana was saying, about her numbers, and she did send me her numbers from the scale and all those things. Like whenever we start doing a program, and Chrissy can say that too, when she first started with me a few months ago, usually the numbers will go up. And unless I make you starve, which is not what I do, it's not how I work, um, your numbers will go up initially. Probably you'll gain some weight. And the reason why that happens is because our muscle cells, they have a faster response time than our fat cells. Our muscle cells, but if you do, like, if you get up weight and you start doing a bicep curl, immediately you're going to see the pump, right? Immediately you're going to see your muscles, like, they're going to be saturated. They're going to be, because what happens is you start contracting the muscle fibers. They contract like this. They extend, contract, and that causes blood flow to rush. That causes water, that causes fluids, vitamins, nutrients, minerals. And with that, your muscles swell up. So when you start working out for a week, 2 weeks, your muscles are going to be like, oh, we like this. And they're going to be pulling lots of water, lots of fluid, lots of nutrients to them. So your muscle mass will increase rather quickly. Your fat cells don't respond that fast. Sadly, it's not sadly because God's perfect creation. Thank you, Jesus. But we don't know how, we don't know why. But the fat cells, they take a little longer to respond because actually we do know why. I'm just saying like how God created everything. That's why we don't know why. Maybe so he can value hard work. Thanks God for the lesson. But um whenever you are, say, starting a diet, a protocol, when you're working out and you're trying to be on a calorie deficit, what happens is, first of all, our brains do not want to let go of fat. Our bodies, because of how we developed in our survival mechanisms, like internal physiological survival mechanisms, our brain understands fat as an energy deposit, which is exactly what it is. It is an energy deposit. You have that clump of fat cells, and it's energy. And whenever you need it, whenever you are in an emergency situation, what happens is your body can tap into that energy source and use it, to stay alive, to make your heart work, your digestion, your respiration, your brain process, your thought process. So brain understands energy as fuel and as, like, let's say your savings account. Let's put it that way. So whenever you get in a calorie deficit and you're starting, like, you're planning to lose weight and you start working towards that, your brain is not gonna immediately like go and say like, yeah, take out this energy, let's go. No, it's gonna hold on to it for as long as it can. And that takes a while. So you need to be in a calorie deficit for a while. Some people is a week, some people is 2 weeks, some people is a month, because that depends on how much fat you have to lose. Also depends how trained you are, depends on like um how active your metabolism is. If you've done this before, like if you kind of train your body how to do that. A lot of people, they come to me, they say like, oh, you lose fat so fast. I'm like, yeah, I've been training my body to perform that way for a decade. So yeah, thank God it finally learned. But it takes time. Like I've been kind of dieting for the last 2 weeks. I haven't seen any change, but also wasn't measuring. But I do feel like I'm like less bloated than I was before. And I can guarantee you now that I'm gonna start really tracking all my food and measuring. It's probably gonna take another 2 weeks for me to see like a massive drop on the scale, like see my body to just like, oh, I understand now what she wants to do. She wants to lose weight. Okay, let's release that. She doesn't need that extra fluff, because like I said, it wants to hold on to fat. Not only like your brain's survival mechanisms get into action, but physiologically, our fat burning mechanism, it happens in 2 stages. First, you have, like, let's say, think this is a fat cell. So the fat cell is right here, right? First, for you to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit a lot. So you have a fat lipolysis, which is you break the fat cell. So there's a cell right here. The first mechanism that happens is the fat cell is broken. That takes a while already. And that's usually you see on people on stages, if they're losing fat, you see somebody who, let's say, I'm going to use myself. Are you ready? All right. So now, especially after my cook, you see how stocky I am? Like, I am solid. See? Oh my goodness. The things we do. Oh Lord, you see, I'm doing your work. But see, like, I'm solid. That fat is solid. It's not like loose. There's a little bit of loose fat in here. My body's starting to break the fat cells. I deposited a lot of things on my stomach when I first started eating, because like I've had some issues with my digestion. So that's usually where I store. Like if you see my legs, they are much bigger than they were on stage, but it's mostly muscle. Like I have some fat in here, but they're like, this is not the fat that I'm worried about. I'm worried about this fat right here. When I start dieting, I wish I had a video. Next time I get on that stage, I'm gonna record a video. When I'm gonna start dieting, and after that first that those fat cells, they break, the fat content from the fat cells, it gets loose on your system. I think I explained that to you, right, Chrissy, once when we were talking about. I probably did. So that fat gets loose, and it stays, which you need to break that fat content out of the fat cells in order for the body to use that fat content as fuel to be oxidized out of the body. Oxidation means nothing like you burn that with oxygen. So there's those 2 stages of fat lipolysis and the fat oxidation, and those things take time. That's one of the reasons why, Fabiana, you notice, and most people do, the vast majority of people, unless you're super obese and you have so much weight to lose that the body like is like eager to get rid of those. But most people, they will see an increase in your weight first rather than a drop. But then when you start feeling a drop, you're gonna see like your muscle mass is there, and you're just gonna start losing body fat. And that fat oxidation, like I said, I think it was it here that somebody asked me about waist trimmer. I'm not sure, but the fact oxidation happens in the presence of oxygen. That's why you need like a good circulatory system, and you need good things happening in your body, like a good flow of fluids and all that. Because if there's no oxygen getting in that area, let's say on my stomach, on my love handles, on my thighs, like I've had clients that I train sometimes I'm doing tricep extension, their triceps are like dead cold. And I said, you're not pumping blood in there. Like, so we need to sometimes even warm up the area to make the vasodilator effect. So you have a bigger vase, you have more blood flowing, you have more oxygen, like particles. So it's a bunch of little things that happen in our beautiful body. So that's why, Fabiana, it takes a little longer for you to start dropping weight. And that's why a lot of people they give up because they diet and they're doing all the right things for 2 weeks and they want to see like an immediate drop in weight, but it doesn't happen like that. And it's like it breaks my heart to see everybody giving up. Because and I get it, like you do all that work and I even do it myself. Like yesterday, even though I was there with my friend and I had a good breakfast, a simple breakfast. I was there and I saved calories for because I knew we were gonna go eat on her favorite Mexican place. I had one margarita, half of margarita. It wasn't even drinking much. Nachos and guacamole. I had four lettuce wrap tacos with a bunch of protein and a cake. And I came back. What I have? I had one more protein bar and had one little piece of dessert with my mom, like a little key lime cup like this. And I thought, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna my weight's gonna drop. It's gonna be awesome. And then it increased 2 pounds. I was like, mother blubber. I was so mad. And then I kept thinking, and then but then I checked, and that's the beautiful thing about having like a smart scale because I checked my body fat percentage drop, my weight gain was just from muscle. And then I remember, oh, yesterday I went to the gym with her. So I met her, we went to the gym, we worked out and I had this massive leg day with her. She competes too. She's a friend from my competition. Um, and so my muscles are swollen up. So of course my weight is gonna increase. My body fat's gonna drop. So once you start understanding what's happening, it's like, oh, I'm not a loser. You know, even though none of us are. I don't care what you say or what you do. We're not losers. We're just trying to figure things out. This is actually working and I'm on the early stages. My weight, my muscle went back up to what it used to be. And now I just need to keep doing what I'm doing, wait for my body fat to drop. Once you understand that, it's like, it's just like, I try to make lots of analogies with money and businesses because we all know a little bit of that and we are all business women. It's like you depositing something on your 401k and wanting to reap the benefits like you deposit on Monday and on Friday you want to see your retirement fund completely. It doesn't make sense. It takes time and it takes consistent deposits for one day when you get that benefit. Okay, so I hope I answered that question and talked about what I wanted to talk about, which is the weight and all of that. Now let's go to the feedback. I want to hear from Jackie. Jackie, tell me how was your week, if you can. I know it's super early there, but if you can, want to share a little bit how was your week and how I can better support you. Maybe she's brushing her teeth. I don't know.
No, I was trying to find the untap button. I'm like, where is it? Because I'm on my phone. I'm usually on my computer when I do Zoom. Yes, because I'm a late starter to the program, so I just finished my first week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. This weekend, I was like, Amanda's crazy with this workout, but it's really fun.
I named it what it was. It was crazy. It was meant to be
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, right. That's what it was called, workout, crazy workout. Um, and I'm just coming off. I was with a personal trainer for 4 months,
Uh-huh.
and uh, I'm done with that. So I really wanted to work out with one of your programs. So it's been amazing. Um, I was curious because I'm unfortunately missed the first two calls, and so I'm sure I miss um, all the macro information and what sort of caloric range
Uh-huh.
um, we're in. I'm trying to lose my belly fat that just doesn't want to leave me. So yeah, I was curious about that because I missed that kind of information, but it's been awesome thus far, and I'm looking forward to my second week coming up
Yeah.
and getting stronger and working these glutes, and it's been fun. It's been great.
I'm glad to hear, my love. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, the macro thing, what I talked about, I don't know if it was called one or two, but the macros, like I did a sample meals and I sent you that video where to find the
Yeah.
sample meal plans. Uh, it's really hard to do an individual, like a group macro plan because we all have different necessities and backgrounds. And I'm just remembering now that I get my notes that I promised you girls a macro article, and I'm making that note again. My apologies. And I'm gonna send that this morning. I'm also gonna teach you. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk you girls through. It's not a black and white formula, just so you know, like there's no like a magic formula. I'm gonna teach you kind of how I do with my clients, but everybody's a little different because there's so many variables involved. But I can teach you girls kind of like how to have a better notion of how to establish your macros. And I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put up a PDF on our files on the group. Um, okay, because for it to know, it's a little complicated. I'm going to try to find if there's a website that calculates your the calories that you need to be having, and you subtract, put in a calorie deficit, and then out of your total daily calorie intake that you should be having, we're going to allocate from those calories how much should be coming from protein, how much should be coming from fat, and then the remaining is going to be carbs. That's usually how I do with most of my clients, unless they have like any specific or special needs regarding any macronutrient. But I'll talk about that. And it's not complicated. I'm gonna put it very simply, and then you need to try. So that's what I tell all my clients. There's not a one size fits all, and it's like as much as we use, it's everything that I do is backed by science. You still need to put it to proof because even science is built out of certain study groups with certain individuals, and they do not represent everybody. Usually studies are based out of average people, but not all of us fit into the average category for every single thing. So let's say we do that study and I do the whole calculation of your basal metabolic rate, your total daily energy expenditure, and I calculate everything perfectly. It might just be that you're an outlier and you're like, oh, that calorie intake is too low for me. I'm depleted constantly. In that case, you should elevate your calorie intake a little bit. Or maybe the other case, like we're putting in a calorie deficit and you're still not losing weight or you're gaining weight. And like, oh my gosh, maybe you are an outlier from the under limit and you should be eating a little bit less and we should be thinking about like maybe we need to increase. So there's a lot of little things that get into place, but I'm going to teach you how to calculate that for yourself based on we're going to need your height, your weight, and your age, which you all have that. And then you put it to test and try to figure out like, is this working? And maybe within a week you can tell like this feels good or this doesn't feel good. Okay. Who goes next? Chrissy, talk to me, Chrissy.
Hello, good morning,
It's
everybody.
his birthday. Happy
Yes,
birthday, my love.
thank you. So wonderful to have this challenge because it's actually little reminders to, the little habits. It's what's always in the back of your mind. Like if I'm sitting there without a bottle of water, I feel like I'm missing something. So it's kind of getting in there. And I've been working with you now for some time, but it took some time to get those habits in. As for my workouts, I'm doing these really intense ones, so I feel more sore on my legs. But I'm trying to find ways also to push through and to really, get the most out of it for the meals as well. I really enjoy it. Um, it's satisfying. It's not, I don't feel like I'm hungry all the time. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So I feel, you know, balanced in a way. And doing this together with all the ladies here, I feel it's really a spiritual thing as well, connecting um, as a community to do this. So yeah, I think that's all I've got. I've missed all your other calls, unfortunately.
No worries. No worries. You're always present. Thank you so much, my love. Hope you're enjoying your beautiful day, your beautiful birthday, and God blesses you.
Thank
You're right,
you.
like that was the whole thing. Um, because I wanted to do in a group setup because of that, because we keep each other accountable. And I think group setups are so rich because we can contribute to each other. Like if one day I'm weak, then you're strong and you pull me up, and vice versa. So thank you so much for sharing that. And you're doing amazing. You're
Thank you.
awesome. Lori, I don't know if you can talk. If you can't, uh, let me know in the chat.
Hey, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm just we had the dentist and now we're on the way to school. So just
Cool.
in the car with the kids. Yeah, it's been good. I would say I do well getting sometimes it's hard for me to get the workout, like the weighted workout and like the walk or whatever in, just purely because of time. Um and just child, like it's hard to even push the baby in the stroller because he wants to climb out after 20 minutes. But I find it easy to push myself in the workouts and really get a good workout in. I did well on macros through the week, and then the weekend I was a little off. Just we had a birthday party and stuff, and I just didn't stick to things that like I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, I should have grabbed a burger without a bun and like filled up my plate with the salad and just just thinking, being more mindful of that. Like yesterday, I was more on point, where Saturday I was off. But I feel overall, I can tell like my clothes are fitting, like my waist feels slimmer. I feel good in the workouts, and I think I'm making progress and happy with it. So, and being okay with not being, I didn't do it perfectly. I would give myself a hard time
Yeah.
for that in the past.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, my love. That is so important because a lot of what I preach and what I practice, honestly, is just being 100% okay with what you do. The guilt trip really messes with us, and guilt serves none of us. Because if you quote unquote fail, it's not a failure. No, because nothing is permanent. You can keep changing, you can keep doing better. Because we think like that same analogy we used last call. If I get one flat tire, I'm gonna poke holes on all the other three of them. That's a very, very bad mindset to be on, especially with your diet and your nutrition. So understanding, like, let's say you're at a birthday party, the biggest thing is awareness and decision, and like being in control of your decision. Understanding that when you are at a setup like that, you need to decide, like, am I gonna eat this burger with a bun or not? And I know this sounds so minuscule, but it's more than that, because it's just a decision making process that you're not just going with the flow. You're not just walking with the herd. You're not just eating something because everybody else is eating. Because if you look around you, most people do not look like you want it to look, because we're in a crisis of obesity, and people don't have muscles, and it's people are usually not healthy. So you need to understand, like, am I eating this burger with a bun because I've made a decision to do that, and I like really want it and I can fit in my macros, or am I just eating that just because everybody else is eating? And or like, I really don't care for the bun. Let me allocate my calories where they matter for me, where it's gonna fit me. So, but it's also like understanding that each process has its own time, and there will be times that you're gonna say like, I'm just gonna step down and have some fun, and I understand it's gonna come maybe with a few pounds extra on the scale, and I'm okay with it. And there will be some times like I'm gonna be super diligent, because what matters the most to me now is that I lose all this weight and I look good for this or that, and because I want to feel good and want to be healthy. And I don't care if I go out to a restaurant with friends and I order and I just drink water instead of two cocktails. No, so there's a time and place for everything, and knowing when and being 100% okay with your decision, that's where the gold mine is. That's where you're hit the jackpot into understanding like I am thriving with my health. Because I'll tell you this, even though like now I'm sitting 15 pounds more than what I was on stage, I'm not okay physically because no, that's not how I love to look, but I'm okay mentally because I enjoyed myself so much this month and I needed that break, that mental break and that connection, even with my mom and my friends back in Brazil over food. Uh, because that was intentional and I wasn't like something that I just put on autopilot, just like eat. No, everything that I ate was like I want to eat this and I want to eat this and I want to eat this and a little bit of everything, and I'm okay with it. And also like physiologically, even like it helps my body to now get on a better state for fat loss, because you can't just keep on a calorie deficit constantly. You need to go up and down, up and down. And I don't mean on the scale. I mean your calorie intake. You need to increase, decrease a little bit, increase, decrease a little bit. Okay. Welcome, Miriam. We're gonna go to Fabiana for a second, and we'll get back to you. Okay, Fabiana, drop the scoop. Let us know how was your week. You said a little bit, and you're like doing good. But any other struggles you've been having? Anything you'd like to share or ask?
Yeah, are you sure I can only have 50 grams of fat? It goes by so quickly. I mean, I just finished breakfast and I've got like 7 grams left for the day. I'm like, oh my God, it feels like it's not enough. I don't know. Double check because the rest I'm fine with carbs and protein, but the fat feels like, wow, I get to 50 grams so quickly in the day. And then I'm like, oh, trying to figure out how I can keep eating protein without adding fat and stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're sure, like if you're like, yeah, girl, you just got to get used to it, I will. But it's like, wow. Because in the past, I've done more like whenever I've done calorie restrictions, it's been more keto type. So
Uh-huh.
it's been normal. Like I could have fat, but I get what you're saying. It's adding to the calories, not going to allow me to get into
Yeah.
deficit. But just wanted to double check, like really 50 grams is it?
Well, let's talk about it. There's a lot of things to unpack on this one. Yes, I'm sure that number wasn't a typo. It's 50 grams. And it does, you can get to that very fast, especially if you're eating, because fat adds up so fast. Because, uh, like, if you're using butter to cook, or if you're eating whole eggs, like, if one whole egg has 5 grams of fat, 6 grams of protein. So if you're eating 4 whole eggs, it's already like 20 grams of fat plus let's say some peanut butter or some avocado. All those are high in fat. And if you're cooking with olive oil, or if you're eating fat, like even animal protein, usually most cuts of meat or even chicken, they will have some fat or a lot of fat in. So yeah, it's rather easy to add up on fat. The reason why I put your fat intake a little bit lower than that is because I did notice you're eating lots of fat, not as many carbs, and calorie deficit needs to come from somewhere. I'm sure not going to cut your protein, and you're already doing somewhat of a low carb intake. That's why I had to lower your fat.
Right,
When you
right.
do a ketogenic style of diet, which is not what we're doing like a high protein keto, let's put it that way. But if you're doing a proper ketogenic diet, some studies they show that fat intake doesn't matter. I'm a little skeptical of that, and I've done the keto like because I'm my own guinea pig. I try everything on myself because I want to see how it feels. I want to see the effect on my body. So I've done keto a few years ago, and I did the proper keto, like high fat, medium protein, super low carb, and I liked it. The effect that it had on me. It's just for me, I couldn't build as much muscle on that because of the low protein. So I figured a sweet spot is a high protein keto. But what happens when you're doing a high protein keto, once again, you need to remove the calories from somewhere because you still need to be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
So if you increase your protein intake, something needs to come down. And if you're already low in carbs, like I said, you have to remove a little bit from fat. Unless that would be curious. I've never done that, but it would be interesting to see if you do a high protein, high fat, but like extremely minimal carbs. On that setup, I would probably guess you would be able to eat as much fat as you want and still like be in a ketosis and all that fat was going to be used as fuel, and you're not gonna, it's not gonna, because it's not gonna increase your, as long as you keep carbs low, and by low I mean like below 25, and just basically eating some fiber like vegetables and very little fruit, you'd be able to keep your insulin very low, so you could eat as much fat as you want and not really have any fat deposits on it. That would be an option if you really like need the fat
So
to be higher. Go
what
ahead.
if we alternate, Amanda? So here's my thing. I
Mm.
have like I want to regulate my hormones too.
Mm-hmm.
I know that in the second half of your cycle, you need carbs.
Yes.
Carbs are good. You need a lot of sweet potato, butternut squash, like all those, carbs that help produce progesterone. So
Mhm.
I don't want to go very hardcore low carb all month long, but I know that like the first few days of the month before ovulation, you could do low carb, no problem, right?
Mhm.
So what if I cycle this thing you gave me and I do what you gave me now with like 75 grams, up to 75 grams of carbs, right?
Mhm.
And then 50 grams of fat, and then 135, 140 protein the second half of the month, right?
Mhm.
And then the first half of the month, once I get my period, it's like game on, like low carbs, more fat, more protein, and then just see how keto I can get just for during those first, I don't know, 10 days or so. And then as I get closer to ovulation, then I start eating more carbs again and kind of balance it out so that the hormone production is more balanced. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good approach. It's a healthy approach. It's what we call carb cycling.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, it's unless you're extremely trained for that, you cannot hop in and off ketosis like that. Usually it happens if you've already done keto in a while and you've like trained your body to be in a ketosis state, because your brain, actually our bodies prefer the ketosis. It thrives better, like it's a better, let's say it's a cleaner energy source, it's energy fuel for us. So once you train your body to get in ketosis, you can hop in and out, like from using fuel and using sugar, using carbs. If you've not trained, or you've been a while since you've done it, you couldn't hop into ketosis like that fast, because it usually takes about 2 weeks for your body to understand, like, oh, this is what she wants to do. This is when you have the whole keto flu, that you get into that state and it's extremely hard, but then your body kind of like gets a breakthrough and like you feel amazing.
What if
But
I fast, Amanda, like a 24-hour fast, or not too hardcore fast, but like maybe 24 to 48 hours? I know when
okay, that could work. Yeah, I like fasting for like once a week, for even like for health purpose and like just hunger control. If you fast for about a 24-hour fast once a week,
no, during those first,
during
10,
just that on that phase, right?
yeah, I could start with like a 24 to 48
Yeah,
hours.
40,
And
I think yeah,
that,
36 to 48 hour, that would probably be ideal for you to get into that.
and I stay there, for the next 10 days.
That's a good thing. I like that. So just
That'll get me very quickly into ketosis.
it will. But then even when you start eating again, I wouldn't want you to eating all that much fat.
No, I hear you.
And I'll tell you why. Because you have a little bit higher visceral fat, and that's what I'm trying to get rid of. So I want you to lower, like, even when you're doing low carb, try to keep your fat under 100.
Oh, that's still a lot more than where it is
I
now.
know 50, it's kind of low. I mean, 50 is like medium. It's just you're used to eating lots of fat, and it's healthy fats. You're not popping out like anything bad. You're eating healthy fats, and they do add up pretty quick, because it's like fat is very, very high density. So like you eat a tablespoon of peanut butter, which is like this much, is
So
like 12 grams of fat. So I
I
get it.
much though. That's the thing. I love fat. Like I'll eat butter just so I think if I can go maybe 75 grams of fat, even I don't even think I need 100, honestly. Like
Mhm.
I'm in that stage. I think if I can try to get it between 75-ish or so,
Okay.
I don't think I'll need to go all the way to 100 because I'm getting used to the 50. I've been trying
Uh-huh.
to stick to the 50 somehow.
Mhm.
So if I can at least go to 75, I think I can try to manage that without going all the way to 100. That'll be
Perfect.
a little better for me to make it more manageable, especially
Another
during
thing,
10 days. But then after that, when I raise the carbs, then I would bring back the fat to 50, right?
yes, another thing that you can do, like for example, on days like that you see, like, I'm almost done with my fat intake, you can swap between fats and carbs. You can swap. You can never zero fat, because we need fat for our hormone production, you know that. But let's say you have, I don't remember your numbers, but let's say you have 50 grams of carbs left and no fat left, but you want to have more fat, you can transform those calories allocated to carbs into fat. So as long as you keep your protein intake the same, fats and carbs, you can do whatever. For fat loss, study shows that for fat loss, it doesn't matter if you do a high fat, high carbs, whatever. So let's say, and it's usually 2 for 1 because 1 gram of carb has 4 calories, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So if you have 50 grams of carbs and you want to transform those calories into fat, you can just divide by 2. It's not exactly, but it would be like around maybe 25 grams of fat. So you get a little surplus right there. So you say like, I really don't need my carbs. I want my fat. Give me some butter. So you just transform that. Okay.
Oh, that's such a good cheat code. Thank you, Amanda.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Amanda.
I'll
We
try
do
to
this.
stick to the plan, but I feel a lot better now because yeah,
It
that
helps, yes. We do the same thing with alcohol. Like if somebody like wants to have drinks and it's like a social drinker, we establish calorie intake. And let's say you want to have a glass of wine, we take those calories from the glass of wine and then we transform that because 1 gram of alcohol has 7 calories. So let's say we allocate, we see how many calories are those calories of a glass of wine. We transform that into, let's say, your carbohydrate content. It's like, okay, so if you have less 20 grams of carbs on a day, you can have that glass of wine and still be in a calorie deficit.
awesome. Perfect.
There's lots of tricks, lots of tricks.
So good. So
Thank you
good.
so much, Fabiana, for sharing that. And girls, that's why I love like asking questions because you see what I told her, I bet it helped so many of you were like with little like, oh, oh, oh. So ask a lot. Remember, this space is for you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you, my love. Miriam, talk to me. Let me know how was your week. Any questions
Oh,
you have, any feedback, this is your space.
yeah, I love this, Amanda. I am in Mexico with my family. So it's been, yeah, very hard because this is the culture of you talk over food. Oh, well, yeah, you see meet people eating. So it's been hard. But I want to ask you something. It's been protein. I always have a protein shake that helps me control my eating. But then what about I've been thinking to really replace my food for only shakes. Is that possible? I don't have time to eat actually. When I go back to Los Angeles, there's no time to eat. So I'm gonna go back into only 2 proteins a day. Is that like too harsh? Yeah.
It is. I'll tell you this. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the best thing neither. We do need so how your body behaves, it behaves based out of macronutrients, so you need that, let's say 100, I'm just gonna throw a number, 150 grams of protein a day. Your body needs that to achieve what we're trying to achieve. Build muscle and like it's all the amino acids. So protein are breaking into amino acids like our Legos, our building blocks. It participates on our skin, our nails, our hair, our like eyebrows, and all those things. We need those amino acids to build building blocks. Same thing as we need the carbohydrates, but we actually don't, but it's part of it. And we need the fat, the essential fatty acids. That's the most important thing. If you don't eat food and all you do is shakes, that need of the building blocks is fulfilled. You're still going to get the benefits of it. The thing that's going to be lacking is the micronutrients that you don't have with the shakes. It's like the vitamins that you get on food and the nutrients, the minerals. So that's a concern. I mean, you can always supplement. That helps. But food is always better than shakes. Shakes, I want you to think shakes is like option B. Still good, still helps, still like I use shakes when some like my diet is really locked in. I'll probably do 2 shakes a day. And I don't like doing shake. I just put protein and put a little bit of water and I stir it up like a fudge and I eat it because I like chewing. So I do that because they help me and it's tasty, I like it's sweet and I put a little bit of powdered peanut butter, like I put sometimes even cocoa powder. So I make it taste good. But yeah, foods are always better than shakes. So what I would tell you is we're working on a better scenario, right? I'd rather you do what's not the best rather than don't do what's the best thing. Make sense?
Yes, yes.
Because the
Okay.
ideal diet, if it's not done, then what's the point? I'd rather you do plan B and execute it properly and have some
Mm.
results rather than don't execute plan A and have zero results.
Mm.
So if you have to rely on shakes, and that's the stage of the life you're in, rely on shakes. But have in the back of your mind, like,
Mm.
what am I doing with my life that I'm running so much that I don't have time to nurture my body?
Mm.
And I tell that to I'm preaching to the choir because I do the same. I'm like eating in between clients and in the car, which I don't like to do at all, but I do that all the time, especially when it's season. I just like, damn, I need to sit down and eat because it's important for me that I have that time to eat so I can pay attention to what I'm eating. Because if I eat a protein bar when I'm rushing between clients, I can tell that my body, I get the amino acids, I get the protein, but my brain doesn't even acknowledge that I ate. So I'm hungry again 30 minutes after. That doesn't serve me. So, like it's understanding that, yes, it's okay. Yes, we can do that, but is it the best? And now that we know it's not the best, how can I plan better? And like maybe I'll do that for the next month, but coming the following month, I'm gonna really try to like, even if I can have 10 minutes in between meetings or in between sessions, like I don't know what you do for a living, but
Yeah, I am a
10
money mindset coach. So it's a
girl,
lot of
yes, you tell your clients nurturing your body is important. Like I know a lot of you girls here came because of Kelly, and through Kelly. And that
yes.
was a conversation I had with her when we first started working together because she said, like, I'm rushing, and it's like, I get it, but your health matters. So we figure out a way that she works out now at least 3 times a week with me. She has that 30-minute window so we can work out, and then she find time for her meals because making money is important, fulfilling our purpose and our divine purpose is important, but your body is your vessel. There's only so much you can go without proper fuel.
Yes, this is so important, Amanda. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, that's why we are here. Julie,
That's why
it
we're
comes
here.
with
Yes.
me. That's why we jump into the call. It's so necessary to listen to you. Okay, love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my love. Love you back. And you see the daily habits this week, one of them is like meal prep.
Yeah.
So
Okay. No,
I
I'm
felt
gonna
that
make time.
before.
I'll do
All
it.
right,
I'll
my
do
love.
it.
Thank you so much for
Bye.
sharing. Appreciate it so much. Juliana, hop in, my love. What are some quick go-to proteins in busy schedule? Cottage cheese. I have a list I'm going to share with you. Cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, beef jerky, turkey strips, protein shake, protein bars. Like I said, those are not always, it's not the best, but they help a lot, and there's so many protein snacks, and I try to stay away from, like, if you go to a drug store, or not, no, sorry, a grocery store, and you see like there's tons of like protein shakes, protein pancakes, protein this. Yeah, those help, but they usually come, and once again, they usually come in like a very depleted micronutrient state. So you eat them, you get the amino acids, you get the protein, that's gonna go to your muscle. But every time I do this, there's a handle, it's recognized. I thought like, where's somebody printing? It's myself. And but you notice that you're probably gonna be hungry 30 minutes after. Even if I eat a protein bar, like the most delicious protein bars, I'm hungry 30 minutes after because they're depleted of nutrients. They serve us in our macros. It's two different things: macronutrients, micronutrients. Macro, they serve building blocks. They're gonna do what they're supposed to do. The micro are the ones who are gonna satisfy our cravings, like nurture our inner needs from our body. And that's why a lot of times, like, you eat a protein bar, and I just want to eat 3 out of a time because I know, right? Because first, they're so tasty, and they build like that precisely so we can, our brain keeps craving, because if we keep craving, we're gonna keep buying, they're gonna keep making money. So that's the one. So understand, like, those snacks, those things, they're great plan Bs. By all means, use them. Use them to our advantage. I always have stuff in my house. I always have protein bars. Like, sometimes, as much as I try to plan, I just don't have time. I wake up, and I have to run. So I grab a protein bar, I grab a cottage cheese, I grab a yogurt, I grab a little pouch of almond butter that I like to put on my yogurt, and I'm out the door, you know. But and I just had this in my mind today, like I woke up and I haven't eaten yet, so I'm slacking on that. And like I can't do that if I'm trying to get to that physique that I had 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I need to wake up and have a proper breakfast. I need to sit down with my eggs and my protein, my blueberries, sit down and have food because you know, and once again, it's the same thing that I tell you constantly. I'm just like any other woman. I wake up and I think like I need to lose weight. I'm gonna skip breakfast. That's the first thought. I'm gonna delay my breakfast. I'm not gonna eat. I'm just gonna eat lunch. And I forget that, you know, when I don't do that, I don't nurture my body. So my body is actually gonna hold on to more weight than it actually is gonna release. And it's so counterintuitive. I need to like step back and just I need to eat. If I want to lose weight, the trick is to eat. As I know it sounds too good to be true, and it is. The more you eat the right things, the more your body is going to keep releasing the weight.
Thank you. So I have one question. So during like Monday to Friday, I'm pretty good with like doing the protein in the morning, which is okay. Now on Saturday and Sunday, I play for a community. I play the piano for the community, so I need to like perform. So there's got to be a little bit of carbo there so that I can do my concentration. And sometimes just going in empty stomach is like a lot more clear for the mind, so that I can just I'm Catholic, so I gotta do communion, so I gotta go in empty stomach too. But then, if before like a lot more hours, I can actually eat something. Anything you can recommend so that I have something to get the energy started, but still I'm within the protein window, and then something I can eat after so that I'm not spiking up my sugar. I try to stay with some like sour apples or something like that, but I sometimes end up craving like chocolate or something like.
Of course, we crave, like nobody craves lettuce or Brussels sprouts, or we crave chocolate and cookies and yumminess.
Yeah.
Help me understand. So you do like to go play on an empty stomach, you feel better, or no, you need some carbs?
In the morning, I like to have some apples or like peaches. Now it's been summer here in New Jersey. Like some peaches or like apples or some protein shake or protein bars. Either put together, like some fruits, protein shake together or protein bar together. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the weekends. And after I played the whole day that I play, at the end of the day, I end up going for some carb meals.
Yes.
And when I really messed up for the whole week.
First of all, you're not messing up. Just tell you that. Because if you remember the 80-20 rule, if you're doing the whole week good, and you have one meal on the weekend or even 2 meals that you mess up, that's not messing up. That's normal life. Okay. So I don't want you to have that mindset like, oh, it's worthless. No, it is working. Another thing that I want you to think is whenever you're eating something, like say you come from a fastest day, like it's a breakfast, or maybe you played all day, haven't eaten, and you're going to eat. Ideally, the best way to do it is have your proteins first and then have your carbohydrates. Because what you do when you eat protein first, you're like preparing your body's like receiving all those amino acids. So when you eat your carbohydrate, you're not going to get a big spike in insulin. If you eat any carbohydrate, I don't care, it could be the healthiest one, on an empty stomach, your spike in insulin is going to be so big. And the problem with a big spike in insulin is because the drop is also big. And when the drop is also big, it makes you hungrier. Sometimes it can make you like a little hypoglycemic, too little sugar, you're going to get dizzy, and you're going to want to eat again. And your brain thinks, it doesn't think, oh, I need to eat an apple. It's like, I need to eat chocolate because that's the fast sugar. So the brain is, once again, it's trying to think of survival mode. So in the morning, yes, have your protein shake and have your apple or your peaches. No problem with this at all. When you play the whole day and you're going to go for a meal, let's say you sit down what type of do you like pasta, rice, but like what are you craving? Pizza? Tell it like it is, sister.
Oh, I like Korean pasta.
Cream pasta. Perfect.
Yeah.
So you go to a restaurant or you cook it at home, want to have the cream pasta. I know it's gonna sound weird, but that's like, it's gonna make you feel so much better. Try to have some protein first. So if you're a restaurant, let's say it's an Italian restaurant, like maybe order a carpaccio before. It doesn't have to be a full meal, like a full steak, like a little bit of protein, like even 15, 20 grams. Or maybe you're on your way to restaurant, you're already packed, like I'm gonna eat a little cottage cheese thing before I go to the restaurant so I can have my pasta. Or I'm gonna have even like a protein bar or like half a protein shake. Just to like really like make that cushion in your stomach, your brain understands like, and your digestive system understands like,
Right.
oh, we're good. We have the protein in. Now I'm get ready for the pasta. So let's say the damage is gonna be less. You're gonna feel less lethargic with the pasta. You're gonna
Right.
like you don't need that much, and
Right.
you're gonna still gonna satisfy your craving because I get it. When you're playing up, you're performing all day. It's like your body's depleted. It's a lot of energy. So it's like you ran like a 2-hour marathon. I get it. You do need that energy. Don't deplete yourself from that. But
Being
have
around
the
so many
protein
people,
first.
it just consumes so much energy too.
Yeah, I bet it.
Okay. Okay, great.
All
Awesome.
helps.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Welcome, my love. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
All good, ladies. Any other questions for the week? Requests, concerns?
Hey, if we have time, I have one more if you don't
Go
mind.
for it. Bring it on.
Green juice, right? You know, like I like having, and I just had mine too. I put like cucumber, I put like some dills, I put like some baby oregano and anything green, and I just like put them all in. Sometimes it's a little too hard to eat everything in the salad. Now,
Yeah.
what time would be the best time to have that? I like to have it in my empty stomach, and it's been my habit too. But now that we're trying to do protein and this thing together, I'm just trying to juggle which one comes first.
Okay. The green juice, if you put only those things that you're putting, you can have it on a fasted state because that's like really going to be zero to very little effect on your insulin because you're basically eating fiber. So that's good. If you mix any fruits, I mean, you could put like some lime juice. Lime juice is also like allowed like on that very little effect. If you put any fruits, then I would advise you to have your protein first and then have the juice. Because a lot of people will have a green juice, but the green juice has like pineapple juice that is like super high in sugar. So usually any fruits they will, no, they're healthy. That thing we talked about. Not everything that's healthy, it helps us lose weight. There's a lot of healthy things that they are not helpful for on our weight loss journey because they're super high in calorie. So not any, vast majority of fruit juices, they're super high in sugar. So they wouldn't be the best thing to have first thing in the morning. If all you're doing is cucumber, dill, like you have any leafy
Calories and
greens,
just
anything like that, that's perfectly fine. You can even put like I said, a little bit of lime juice and drink that first thing in the morning, and then your protein, and then the rest of your thing. If you decide to put any type of little juice, then protein first and then juice.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That just cleared everything up.
You're welcome, my love. And ladies, like, don't wait for the calls on Monday to ask those questions. Like, use the chat. That's for you. Fire it up. I'll record a video. I'll send an audio. Like, Fabiana has been asking lots of questions. Lori too. But use me. I'm here for you. Thank you so much for participating on the call. This is really always so special. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. I'm gonna go get those materials for you for the macros, the protein cheat sheet, the little snacks, and I'll see you inside. You have a beautiful, blessed Monday. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Love
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.